The city pulsed with morning ambition, glass towers catching the sunrise, engines murmuring, footsteps echoing against the marble floors of a corporate plaza. In the middle of that steady rhythm of suits and smartphones stood one little girl, a quiet figure in a pink dress, holding a small toy close to her chest. Her name was Sophie, just 6 years old. Her mother Clara worked as a corporate translator for one of the city's most powerful businessmen, Mr. Li, a self-made millionaire whose empire stretched across continents. That morning was supposed to be ordinary. Clara brought Sophie along only because the babysitter had canceled. It was meant to be a quick stop at the office before heading home. But destiny had something else in mind. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, courage, and second chances, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to Pure Hub Kindness. Your support helps us share stories that touch hearts around the world. As sunlight streamed through the massive glass doors, Clara knelt down to fix Sophie's cardigan. A few steps away, 3 uniformed guards stood near a sleek black car, ready for Mr. Liang's next meeting. Everything seemed perfectly calm. Sophie's curious eyes drifted toward the guards. They were whispering quietly among themselves. She tilted her head, catching bits of a language she'd heard before. Her mother often taught her small phrases from different languages just for fun, and one of them happened to be Chinese. And then, like a puzzle clicking into place, Sophie understood a few chilling words. The bomb is under the seat. He won't make it past the bridge. Her tiny hand tightened around her toy. She froze, eyes wide, face pale. Clara noticed immediately. Sophie, sweetheart, what's wrong? She asked softly, but Sophie didn't answer. Her gaze was locked on the guards. Then, as Mr. Liang stepped forward to enter the car, Sophie suddenly shouted, "Don't get in the car." The sound of her voice stopped the plaza cold. Heads turned. Even the air seemed to pause. The guards stiffened. One reached for his earpiece, panic flashing in his eyes. Clara's heart pounded. She didn't understand what was happening, but she knew her daughter's fear was real. Mr. Liang stopped mid-step, confused but alert. His eyes met Sophie's trembling ones. Something about that desperate look made him raise his hand. "Wait," he ordered. The guards moved quickly to check the car. One of them tried to protest, but when another opened the back door, a faint ticking sound silenced the world. Seconds later, chaos, sirens, shouting, evacuation orders. Then the blast. The car exploded in a burst of fire and smoke, shattering the calm morning sky. Because of that one small warning, everyone had stepped back in time. Mr. Liang was thrown to the ground, but alive, his white shirt covered in dust. Sophie clung to her mother, sobbing into her arms. 2 of the guards were arrested on the spot. They weren't guards at all, imposters hired through a fake security firm, part of a larger plot to assassinate Mr. Liang. Later that day, inside the quiet walls of a police station, the powerful businessman sat across from Clara and Sophie. His voice was softer than anyone had ever heard. "She saved my life," he said, looking at the little girl who hid behind her mother's arm. Sophie didn't say a word. She just nodded, eyes red from tears. "No one's ever done that for me before," he whispered. Days turned into weeks. The story made national headlines, "Millionaire saved by child's warning." But behind the cameras, something deeper was happening. Mr. Liang began visiting Clara and Sophie often. He learned how Clara worked long hours, raising her daughter alone after her husband passed away 2 years earlier. Sophie had picked up Chinese just by listening to her mom practice at home, the very skill that helped her save a life. Gratitude soon turned into friendship, and friendship grew into something warmer. Mr. Liang found peace in their company, laughter he hadn't heard in years, the simple comfort of family. For Sophie, he became like the father she'd lost, gentle, patient, proud. For Clara, he was proof that compassion still existed, even in a world driven by power and money. Months later, Mr. Liang launched a new program, a language scholarship in Sophie's name, to help children from struggling families learn foreign languages and gain confidence, so they can be brave too, he said with a smile. But the greatest change wasn't in his wealth or reputation. It was in his heart. A man who once measured life in profits now understood the true value of people and the quiet power of kindness. One morning, as the 3 of them stood again on that same plaza, sunlight dancing across the glass towers, Mr. Liang looked at Sophie and said, "You didn't just save my life, Sophie. You reminded me how to live it." The little girl smiled shyly, her mother's hand resting proudly on her shoulder, and there, under the rising sun, a new story began, not one of money or fame, but of love, courage, and second chances. Before we end, if this story touched your heart, please take a second to like, share, and subscribe to Pure Hub Kindness. Because sometimes the smallest voices carry the biggest truths, and kindness, spoken in any language, truly has the power to change the world.